it's all about Dr. Seuss here at the Art Evolution Gallery. Now, Jeff, you join us, and can I go as far as to say as you're a Seuss expert?
Well,
or what do you call yourself?
Well, I'm an expert in the Dr. Seuss collection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, how big is this collection that we are seeing here today at the Art Evolution Gallery?
Well, what you're going to see here at Art Evolution Gallery is about 50 different pieces that Ted Geisel, Theodore Seuss Geisel, also known as Dr. Seuss, that we all know him, created during the time, some of which when he was creating his books that we all grew up with, and some of which he called his midnight paintings, what's been later known as the secret art of Dr. Seuss.
And a secret because many of us, until right this minute, didn't know he created art as well as the actual illustrations in the books.
That's correct, and I'll tell you, most people don't even realize when they grew up reading his books, or you read them to your children, you're also being exposed to his artwork. So there's some of those pieces here, and what we've done is we've taken those original paintings, sculptures, and illustrations and created limited editions that are adapted from those original pieces.
Okay. What is the global works of Dr. Seuss? How much other stuff is out there?
Well, you know, we don't know, quite frankly, because not all of it was documented. He didn't take copious notes about his paintings or what he was working on. The kind of paintings you'll see in the gallery here, those are the pieces that he did for his own pleasure and his own enjoyment. But I do know the bulk of the material is still in the collection of the estate, which means they're still in his house that his widow, Audrey Geisel, lives in. But there's also about 10,000 pieces in an archive in the La Jolla area on campus down at the University of California in San Diego. But all of that original material is locked away, and it's only available for research purposes or teaching purposes. The only way people can be exposed to his work and what he did is to come to a gallery like Art Evolution and take a look at these limited editions and to be able to acquire them for your own home.
Now, was this art, I know we're calling it the secret art, was it available during his lifetime?
No.
Or no one knew about it till after?
That's correct. No one knew about it until afterwards, and that really was his wish. You know, there was certainly a public side of who he was, again, through the 600 million books, you know, that have been sold throughout his lifetime through till today. But the private side, he really wanted to keep that way and painted for his own amusement and his own enjoyment, just to have that kind of a creative outlet that wasn't necessarily critiqued or responded to by the public or papers or things of that nature.
Wow. Now, being an expert, Jeff, do you have a favorite piece from this collection that we have here today?
I have quite a few favorite pieces from the collection here today, absolutely.
You got to tell me what one of them is.
Well, one of them is over there called A Prayer for a Child, and we can talk about that. I also love the collection of Unorthodox Taxidermy. There's a beautiful piece right over here called The Green Cat with Lights, and I'd be more than happy to share the stories behind those pieces with you.
Well, from walking right in, this is also one of my favorites. The first one that I saw, he looks so cute. Tell us about this Unorthodox Taxidermy.
Well, this one in particular is the goo-goo-eyed Tasmanian Wolgast. During the 1930s, he embarked on a very unique project by taking original horns, beaks, and other sawfish snouts and other parts that his father actually sent him from the zoo that he was in charge of back in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I think he probably sent them to Ted so he would have three-dimensional items that he could learn to draw, as artists do, use three-dimensional things. But what he did was he took those parts and fashioned them with paper mache and paint and different, you know, backing. Exactly, for the eyes and stuff. And he created this collection of unorthodox taxidermy that he thought these animals would be reincarnated as. Wow. So he created about 17 that we know of. There's 5 of them here as examples in the gallery. And what we do as the publisher is we've been releasing one a year. This year marks the 16th of 17, and next year will be the last one, the last original taxidermy sculpture that we're aware of, actually.
What about if we move on to the green cat with lights here?
I love the green cat with lights. It's one of the major cat portraits that we love, that museums, galleries, and the collecting public love. What's so interesting about this piece is that he signed it Strugo von M. And it's the only piece that we know of that he used a bit of a pseudonym. And as the story goes, this piece hung in his entryway to his home. and they threw dinner parties all the time. The Geisels did, and people would come over and ask him, Ted, hey, what is this piece? And he was a bit of a practical joker, but also kind of wanted to get their honest opinion of it. And he would say, this is my Strugo von M. How do you like it? And people would talk about it, and it's been said that there was a couple of people that said, oh yeah, I'm very familiar with Strugo von M. I own a piece myself. And so you can imagine how that went over.
They sound like a fun group, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. But this is part of the secret art of Dr. Seuss, kind of the private works that you don't find in books, you don't see out there unless you're exposed to them in a gallery like Art Evolution.
Awesome. Jeff, thanks so much for doing this.
It's my pleasure, absolutely. Thanks for coming.
You bet. Make sure you come down to the Art Evolution Gallery. We're going to have a little bit more coming up later on Go Calgary, so stay with us.